Right. Let's do this. Let us initiate. Let us read the article. Looking ahead to Guild Wars 2. Let's have a look, my friends. Looking ahead to the new year in Guild Wars 2. Here we go, boys. As we sign off for our annual holiday break, we're wishing you and yours a splendid season. In 2019, you brought down Kralkatorrik, defeated Kadim the Peerless, attended the biggest Char party ever as a guest of honor, and faced treachery in the far Shiver Peaks. You've befriended Skyscales, bonded with Raven, tackled 4 strike missions, and kicked back at festivals throughout the year. In 2019, you have rocked out to almost 10,000 Metal Legion concerts. I'm surprised it's that few, actually. That's not that many, is it? Cooked nearly 1 million ascended meals. Whoa! Insane. Participated in over 200,000 mount races. Dude, we're speedy. Got knocked out, but you got up again. They like some tub thumping, man. I like it. Okay? Over 63 million times. So, I wonder if that's downsaves or deaths. I guess that's deaths. Like, people, we've died 63 million times in Guild Wars 2. That's crazy. In the first quarter of 2020, we're continuing to deliver content updates every month. From Living World episodes to comparative updates. An upgraded Lunar New Year experience with a new activity and rewards is on its way after the holiday break, followed by episode 2 of the Icebrood Saga in January. The competitive team is still hard at work on Swiss tournaments and balancing, efforts that will bear fruit not long after the holidays. And after that, we'll debut a new type of Living World content called Visions of the Past, a story that will take you out of the commander's shoes and give you a new perspective on Ryland Steelcatcher, along with some unannounced surprises we can't wait to unveil. Now it's time to rest, relax, and look forward to what comes next. Before we head home to spend time with our families, we wanted to give members of the Guild Wars 2 team an opportunity to talk about these updates in their own words. So we're going to get some interviews in a little bit. So here is our roadmap, guys. Here it is. So, first up, okay? PvP, Swiss tournaments, balance updates, okay? Nice. At long last, they might be fixing the PvP game. Like, it might be a lot more fun. Like, this is probably the most exciting thing here. It really is. Like, this is actually really, really big. That they're going to do this is massive. So hopefully this does actually bear fruit. And they do a really good job. And this is the thing that is easily the most exciting on this list, right? And tournaments, yep, sure, that's going to be good too. World versus World. Well, they had to put something on there. Warclaw balance. I mean, I am really... What are they going to do there? I think it's okay. I am really curious to what they have in mind there. Are they going to make it easier to dismount people, maybe? Even more so? Like, reduce the amount of dodges it has, maybe? And change how much health it has to even less? Maybe? But I think it's okay. Right? I think it's okay. Lunar New Year. Celestial Challenge and new rewards. So Lunar New Year is one of the best festivals in the game because it gives you free money. You log into the game and buy the lucky envelopes and you just get a ridiculous amount of free gold. If you have enough magic fund, you have the, you do it correctly, you open them correctly. So that's going to be good, I guess. And new rewards. So here's the thing with festivals, guys. What they're doing is, like, every festival that we've gone round in this cycle is they update it and then they leave it, right? In other words, they update it so it's up to snuff with all the other ones and they leave it. So this will be like the update to Lunar Year. That's the standard. That's how it's going to be, right? Like, all this stuff kind of gets the game a lot more automated. It'll look like Guild Wars 1. So I guess it's kind of good, right? Like, the festivals, they're all right. I like Winter's Day. I like Toypocalypse. So that's good, I guess. Then we've got our episode 2 coming through. And we actually have the date on this, by the way, guys. They actually showed the date, which is really, really cool. They actually tell us ahead of time. It is actually going to be coming out on January 28th, right? And there is a little bit of a teaser here. We can watch the teaser. And it's basically for Drakkar, is what it is. Look, there you go. There he goes. He's a big-ass dragon, right? And yeah, he's swimming around. Shadow in the ice, right? And yeah, we're going to be confronting this, like, really big-ass... this really big-ass dragon there. Like, we're going to be dealing with that. So, there you go, right? I mean, that's what's going to happen. I mean, it's going to be exciting. Now, episode 2, I think, will be a really important episode because it's going to have an open-world mega boss, right? Okay, there will be an open world boss on the level of Triple Trouble, apparently. That could actually be really, really exciting. Like, genuinely, it could be a really good thing. A lot of fun to play through, I think, potentially. Now, I hope the episode is a little bit longer. Like, there's definitely a very legitimate concern with episode 1 that it was very short and not a crazy amount of content, like, overall within the map. And that's a fair criticism, I think. So hopefully they give us a little bit more meat to chew on. Yeah, and they'd better deliver on this open world boss, right? He better be an actual difficult boss, right? If it isn't, I will be very, very disappointed, right? And I will roast the game if they make it too easy, because that would be such a disappointment. It really would be such a disappointment, right? It really would. But there you go. That's episode 2 coming through. So, and then we have Visions of the Past, and Visions of the Past is a new type of story content they're adding to the game, and I think this is a really big clue on where ArenaNet is looking to go with the game, right? And this isn't, you guys aren't going to like this, and I don't like it either, but there's mine guys, like, you know, I really like this game, and the fact that this is to me a very clear signal that they are moving away from, unfortunately, the kind of game that you and almost certainly a lot of people in the stream enjoy. They are moving away from a PvE group experience, and they are moving over towards more solo single-player story experiences, right? Like, they're literally they're not doubling down, guys, they're tripling down, right? Not only are they releasing these story episodes as their main content, but also more frequently, they're layering on additional types of story, Visions of the Past, right? Which is very similar to bonus missions in Guild Wars 1, right? They are going hard on story. They are moving away from what you know, from raids, from fractals, right, from open world stuff, right? And look, it does bring a bit of a tear to my eye, guys, right? Like, you know, I'm not without sense, but look, we should have seen this one coming, right? You know, I felt like we're kind of being like a really, you know, really obtuse here and a bit dense. Like, look, this has been happening for a long time, guys, right? Like, we went from 3 raids a year down to like 1 raid a year, and the raids also got progressively kind of easier as well, a bit more forgiving, right? They tried to make it more accessible, and then they eventually added strike missions, and strike missions ultimately are going to replace raids, at least. Maybe not fractals, but certainly raids, right? It will be replaced. And I think this is a confirmation. Like, they're not saying this directly, guys. They're not saying it directly, but this effectively confirms that group content is going to be either taking a really big backseat or it is essentially dead, right? And look, I don't want to be a doomsayer. I feel it's my responsibility as a Guild Wars 2 enthusiast, as a content creator, as a long-time player of this game, to tell you that is my opinion. That is what I get from this. What I get from this is that effectively those types of content will not be important in Guild Wars 2 anymore. It is going to be story festivals from here on out, right? The reason that World versus World and PvP are receiving a lot of development here around balance, around Swiss, is because they don't have to make new maps for those. They don't have to get voice acting for that, really, right? The game, they just need to play with the numbers, keep the game fresh, change some new traits and get some new stuff in there. Maybe eventually add some new abilities, new runes, new amulets, that sort of thing, right? Okay. Yeah, they can just do that and the game will tick over. That is nowhere near the amount of effort that they need to maintain PvE. So don't mistake this for they're like going hard on PvP. They're going hard on the story. PvP in World vs. World just don't really need a lot of development, a lot of effort really, to keep them going, right? People are going to play those game modes no matter what, right? They just are, right? They really are. Because, I don't know, it's kind of fun. Competition is fun, right? And it's emergent gameplay. It's driven by the players, not driven by the developers, right? And, yeah, that's how it goes, right? You know, to be frank, right, I don't necessarily disagree with this. I actually think that player-driven content is actually the future of MMOs, and maybe not exactly PvP only, but I think that for an MMO, like for a world that you want to feel a part of and want to feel that you're changing, I think PvP is the only way to go about that, right? Or at least dynamic PvE, right? Like something a bit like what the original dynamic event system in the game was supposed to be, or something like Ashes or New World, right? Where the monsters will kind of come for you and try and get rid of you at that point. Like a bit more dynamic, right? Reactive, like the AI reacts to you, right? Instead of you just, you know, going and like smushing the AI in an instance and leaving the instance like AFK and waiting for the next round, right? I think ultimately that, yeah, like moving away from instance content is kind of good, right? Look, I don't want to bring up WoW Classic, but you know what's really interesting about WoW Classic? They actually did this. They had a living world. They had stuff like the Anchorage opening and the invasion as well. Right now in the game, we have elemental invasions as well, which is something that happened back in the day as well. Like, the game actually changed quite a lot, right? There was some dynamic stuff going on, which is very interesting to see that even, like, obviously they didn't really do this in any other expansion because it maybe didn't work out so well, particularly performance-wise. Like, if you look at a lot of the footage from the AQ opening, it was, like, unplayable. Quite funny, but completely unplayable, right? And it would obviously be the same this time round as well. And it will be. Like, oh, it's going to be hilarious, right? But there you go, right? So it's kind of funny that even then, in 2004, like, the devs kind of knew that this was the way to go, but no one's really been able to pull it off quite yet. And so, I don't know, like, I do ultimately think that, like, this is a good decision for the game, though, right? Like, people weren't happy with one raid a year. It was just making a lot of malcontent, right? Like, everyone was angry. Everyone was sad. Like, where are my raids? Where are my fractals? And arenas aren't able to deliver. Like, we don't know exactly why they're not able to deliver. Is it staffing? Is it the engine? Is it management? I don't even know. Like, are they just, like, very pedantic? Are they over-polishing the content? We don't know. But, like, it doesn't change the fact that honestly, they're making a lot of people not very happy. As a result of this. So, like, I think this is actually a good decision, right? And look, I say this as a raider, right? I'm a raider, guys. I love raids, right? You know, I'm really big into that, right? It's, you know, where I found my start in Guild Wars 2. And although I would certainly say that World versus Order is my favorite game mode in the game, like, raids are fucking great, right? It's amazing. But in Guild Wars 2, being a raider isn't practical. Go and play another game if you want to play raids, right? And I get it, yeah. Final Fantasy is not as good as Guild Wars 2. It isn't, right? But they've got content, right? And so content has to outweigh quality at some point, right? And Guild Wars 2 doesn't necessarily even want to develop that, right? It's the same thing. Sekiro, they don't want an easy mode. Guild Wars 2, they don't want a hard mode, right? Who are we to argue with that, right? You can definitely make that argument, right? That there should be, but hey, I mean, if they don't want to, they don't have to, right? You know, it's a free country. We're not going to force them to make raids if they don't want to. And I don't think they do, right? But there you go. So that's all that stuff there as well. And yeah, I will comment on Visions of the Past. I am a little disappointed to see that this is going to effectively take you out of the game. You guys know me, right? Like, I'm very gameplay oriented. So what's going to happen here is they're going to take you out of your character, and you're probably going to play either a Char who's around Ryland Steelcatcher, right? Or maybe you're going to play as Ryland as well, a bit like Guild Wars 1. No, I'm not really a big fan of that, to be honest. Like, my hope is that it's going to be a bit like a fractal, right? So, you know, you'll turn into a Char, right? Or a character observing Ryland, but you'll keep all your abilities and you'll be playing as your character. Because I really don't like stuff in Guild Wars 2 where it takes you out of the gameplay, where it takes you out of your character. I think that's not good in an MMO, and this is something that Guild Wars 2 really struggles with. They'll do everything to do it, right? They'll give you special action hotkeys, they'll give you a mount to take you out of the game that has combat abilities, they'll make you press F so you don't end up playing the game, they'll put you on Aurene and, like, press one button to attack, I'll put you in a vehicle to remove you from the gameplay. Not a big fan of that, but who knows? I will, of course, forestall judgment until we see the actual content itself. But yeah, see this. They are doubling, tripling, quadrupling, pentupling, septupling, right? They are going massive on the story. That is going to be the focus of Guild Wars 2 from now on, guys, okay? If you are looking for a raiding fix, this is not going to be the game for you. It will bring you nothing but frustration and unhappiness if you actually try and play Guild Wars 2 as your raiding game, okay? That I don't like that any more than you, but it is not going to change the fact that that is a fact, okay? There is no way out of that, okay? No way. Open world and story is the PvE stuff that's going down, right? Okay? That's how it is. So, let's move on with the article, actually. So, we have an update from CMC here. What has he got to say for himself? The big thing we have coming down the line for both PvP and World vs. World is a major balance update. We've talked a little bit about on the forums on the World vs. World weekly stream, but to reiterate, our main goal is to reevaluate the desired power level for competitive game modes. We're reviewing every skill and trait in the game to bring them more in line with our goals. This update will be a large step in the direction we want to move, but there will certainly be more work that follows and more problems to address. The balance update is currently targeted for Q1 of 2020, assuming everything goes to plan. On the PvP side of things, we made some great progress with Swiss tournaments. We're looking at running a beta event to test the system at a larger scale. Players who participate in the Swiss tournaments during the event will earn a unique title. That got data mined actually already, so we're looking very close there. The beta is targeted for early next year, and the full release will follow after any outstanding bugs are squashed. For World vs. World, we're planning to address some of the problems introduced by the Warclaw, namely its overall movement speed and elusiveness via evades. We'll be removing the increased movement speed in own territory and replacing it with a new mastery that we're still working out. We'll also be reducing the Warclaw's endurance to give players more opportunities to chase it down and force a dismount. Yeah, they're listening to feedback there. So let's start. We'll go up. We'll go bottom up, right? Yeah, they're listening. Like, people don't like that the Warclaw can be very difficult to actually get people off it. I'm not gonna lie, I do think it is actually a little bit reactionary. I think the Warclaw, if you actually try and use it in combat, I think it is genuinely a handicap a lot of the time. Unless you're doing some like really wonky stuff, like where you kill someone and then like someone who's out of combat like runs in and stomps them. So like maybe they'll get rid of that as well. I don't think they will actually. They're probably gonna keep the stomp, but yeah, like they're gonna reduce the units probably to 2. That makes sense. Like 3 dodges is maybe a little bit too much. The movement speed as well. I don't know. I think the movement speed is kind of good. It does help you get around the map a little bit faster, but I do think it makes defending a little bit easier because you can just come back from spawn, like go straight in there, go, pace. Like that's definitely a problem, especially seeing as defending is so easy as well. Like it's very hard to like kind of force people out if they're playing correctly. So yeah, that is it's a good decision to nerf it probably. Like I don't like mounts in World vs. World. I don't think they should have ever added the Warclaw, but yeah, sure, whatever. And with Swiss tournaments, hooray! Swiss. The biggest letdown with Swiss is that we know the finals are still not going to be best of 3. Right? Best of 1s suck. There is you can just get, sometimes you make a mistake and you just free lose the game, right? Okay, or you get a bit unlucky, right? And you get destroyed, right? I think best of 3 should have been a higher priority than this, but this will be okay. So I'll explain what Swiss is going to be, right? So Swiss is where you basically play a whole bunch of matches and it kind of makes a ranking out of all the matches, like who wins the most and who wins against the stronger teams. And then the top 8 will then go into the same as we have now.
Merry Christmas, right? Teapot. A small Christmas gift to Guild Wars PvPers.
Unterpits. $50 Renos. Now, I actually don't change my mind on the Warclaw. I said that the Warclaw was a good thing, but I also said that I don't like it. I also say that my opinion on this is very nuanced, right? So let me fully explain my opinion on the Warclaw. I don't like the Warclaw. I don't like anything that takes you away from the gameplay, right? Okay? And therefore, the mount, not my thing, right? However, what it did do was bring a huge amount of players into the game. However, it happened at the wrong time. Okay, because there wasn't really anything to keep them there. A massive influx of players into World vs. World, right? But nothing kept them there. They were like, ooh, this gameplay, yeesh, and there was also a bunch of people like, get back to PvE, fucking scrubs, get the hell out of here, man, right? So those 2 things in particular, the gameplay isn't that great, and also the community is like actually toxic, like unironically, right? Kind of got rid of people. So yeah, it was a very good idea, but it was at the wrong time, and I personally don't like it, right? If that makes any sense. Does that make that clarify a little bit there, Ivan? But what I think would have been amazing if the Warclaw had been released, say, at the same time or a little bit after the balance patch, right? Okay, that would have been good. That would have been really good. So I do have a few concerns with Swiss, and the first one is the one I mentioned previously, right? Which was with the lack of best of 3. But also, I think the tournaments may end up taking a long time to actually run. Like, Swiss is going to add a lot of new matches to each AT. The monthly in particular might go on for a long time, which could be a bit of a concern, actually. But what it will do is it will make it very likely, okay? It will make it very, very likely that the best 2 teams will always end up in the finals, right? Okay, and that is a very positive thing. Right now, you can have the finals, right, before the actual finals, which is really frustrating, particularly if you are that team who gets kind of screwed, right? And you obviously don't want that. Like, you really, really don't want that. So, yeah. There you go. So that's but Swiss is a good thing. Good that we're finally getting it out there. They're going to test it with some 2v2 stuff as well, I think. Not entirely sure, though, because that will get a lot of people playing it, right? But let us continue, my friends. Let us continue. So the PvP and balance stuff. This is just like, I just got to give them a clap. I got to see, they're doing every skill and trait. Oh, man. Look, if there's one request I have here, actually, for PvP and World vs. World, is that they do it with PvE as well. Okay? I don't want just PvP and World vs. World to change. Right? Okay? I want every game mode to change. Right? Everything. As in, I want PvE to change, fractals to change, like Rage to change, fractals to change, open world change. I want to see new builds, new strategies, new everything. Like, shake it up. Let's go, right? So that's the only thing that I want them to do, really. But yeah, this is just amazing. It's a very, very good update, obviously, from CMC. I believe in you, CMC. Don't let me down, dude, okay? I've said that you're basically God, right? So I've really, I've kind of built you up here a little bit, so no pressure. Don't fuck it up, right? Easy. Okay. Joe Kim's content designer for Lunar New Year. The first festival of 2020 will be Lunar New Year, starting soon after the holiday break. Historically, this celebration has been smaller, but this coming year we're taking the first steps to bring it to parity with its fellow Tyrian holidays. For the first time, Lunar New Year is getting its own weapon set and a new armor piece. You can start your seasonal look with the Shining Aureate weapons, earned by completing sets of daily achievements throughout the festival. The new armor piece will continue a standard set by 2019's festivals and be available from the festival meta achievement. Okay, so you're going to get a new armor piece and some weapons as well. Now, this is exactly what I was talking about earlier, right? They're bringing up all the festivals to a certain standard, then they're just going to have them on repeat, right? There are these new big meta achievements where you get like the extra 50 AP that goes on for like 10 years or something like that, right? Okay, this is what they're going to do. They're just going to keep going round, okay? And they're just bringing them all up to standard, right? So, yep, good stuff. It won't just be lighting fireworks and selling steamed red dumplings, though. Yeah, because that is a little bit what it was, I'm not going to lie. In 2020, we're adding a new PvE activity of Lunar New Year, the Celestial Challenge. Similar to the Dragon Arena. Oh, nice! It's a small group activity in the Central Pillar of Divinity in which you'll put to the test in a variety of events. Earn the favor of celestial animals and more tangible rewards, such as discounted Divine Lucky envelopes. Nice! We'll be watching a feedback to bring the best of each festival towards the game throughout the year. So give it a try. Hope you enjoy the festival. See you again. Dude, Grim, break out the Minstrel Firebrand, okay? Here we go. We're going Dragon Eye 100. Let's do this. I am ready. Yeah, I 100 is back. Yeah, sounds good to me. Lunar New Year is not the most exciting festival for me outside of, like, free gold, so I'm glad that they're adding something else with the Celestial Challenge. Sounds good. Right, I'll probably give it a try. Yeah, we're back. We are back with I-100. Feels damn good. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not the, you know, look, guys, okay, it's not the most exciting thing in the universe, right? But, you know, it's better than nothing, right? Okay, Elijah Miller, senior designer, Visions of the Past, Steel and Fire. Oh, it's nice and edgy, I like it. Scry into the past and witness what life is like as a member of Ryland's elite steel warband. Armed with the finest char technology, the group will head into deadly snowstorms, dwarven ruins, and even explore the Darkcrime Delves. Some Guild Wars on fan servers there. Darkcrime Delves was a dungeon from Guild Wars 1, actually. So, and we didn't. I think people were a bit excited because that was on the map this time, but we didn't really go there at all. It was there literally to say that, oh yeah, Almora, she's a bit dead now. So I think that was a bit of a cuck. They teased us a little bit there, but they're going to actually explore it here and what happened there and how that went down between Guild Wars 1 and potentially, well, Guild Wars 2 a little bit anyway, right? There'll be some stuff where we'll actually go into it, right? That's pretty cool. I like it, right? Yeah. I like it. As a recruit, you're expected to assist the warband in a variety of tasks. Take up sniper rifles to fend off threats, gather components to bolster allies, and partake in friendly competition to see who can defeat the most enemies. So, yeah, sure, right? I guess this will be okay. It does sound a little bit like a bit of pressing F here. It's like, ugh. I like the killing who can defeat the most enemies. That's some nice energy there. That's some pretty good stuff, I guess. So, yeah. I don't really know exactly what this is going to be. It does seem, you know, is this solo content or group content? I'm not sure. I think it will probably be optional. I think you'll be maybe as a group, but maybe solo as well will be possible. So you're probably going to be able to do it like historians, but you'll also be able to bring in friends as well, like a 1 to 5 players, I guess, is probably how it's going to go. But I think it will be soloable because it's going to be casual story content, I think. Of course, there are additional perks to just being in the Steel Warband. The troop is equipped with the latest armored vehicle. Recruits are equipped to maintain the vehicle. Oh, wow. We get to do car wash simulator. Amazing. If you gather some ammo, you'll be more than welcome to hop onto one of the gunner seats and rain fiery death down upon any foe foolish enough to oppose the warband. I mean, yeah, sure. Right, okay, yeah, I'm not a big fan of this, where you just, like, press 1 a little bit and, like, you fire out a fireball and do stuff. Like, it doesn't do it for me, but I'm sure it's good. Visions of the Past is going to be very interesting, though. I'm really curious to see what they actually do with this, and what it's actually going to be, because I don't know. I don't know what this is, guys. Who knows? I certainly don't, right? We'll have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see, guys. But it could be fun. But, yeah, like I said, welcome to story content, guys. It is story time. Embrace full story, guys, okay? This is Guild Wars 2 now. If you can't handle it, then the game has broken you and the game has won. But, you know, there's no shame in losing, right? And there you go. That is the end of that post. And then it says the Icebrood Saga. Episode 2 arrives January 28th. Something big is coming. Watch the teaser below. So let's just watch it again, I guess. If we go here, does it have sound? Oh, it does have sound. Ooh. Ooh. So, yeah, it's not. It really is a teaser in the very much strictest sense. Like they show you like a few seconds of the game there, and so let's talk about what this actually is and what we know about Episode 2. So Episode 2 is not going to be a new map. It's going to be an extension of a new map. And it's going to be actually, a lot of it is going to be surrounding Drakkar to a certain extent. There's going to be, the big meta event is going to be fighting this massive dragon that was actually around in Guild Wars 1 and kind of corrupted and created Svanir in a way. Like the energies from Drakkar Lake, right, resulted in Svanir kind of popping up into existence. And like a big part of the story in Eye of the North kind of got kickstarted from this happening, right? So there is going to be a world boss, apparently similar in scale and difficulty to Triple Trouble, right? Now, that is very exciting. I really hope they deliver on that, because a lot of Guild Wars 2 open world is face roll easy, right? So something that might require a bit of coordination. I'm really excited to actually play through this, right? Like it might be the most hardcore content we ever get in Guild Wars 2. Feels good, man. So yeah, get ready for that. And other than that, it'll be a continuation of the story. Same map, so I imagine some of the themes will carry through. Right, we're going to be chasing down, you know, the Icebrood. Maybe we'll go and try and chase around Ryland as well. We may find out that Drakkar has corrupted them, perhaps, actually, because, you know, we know from Guild Wars 1 that this dragon has a very strong corrupting presence, so, and is now active as well, so presumably will be even more powerful. So we may actually, because if you remember, guys, in the Icebrood Saga announcement, we saw this army of basically, you know, blue-eyed Char, right? Which is, you know, they've been corrupted by Jormungandr, right? So presumably, the warband that goes on, that, you know, like, you know, that has been sent out that we're pursuing right now, you know, is, you know, is going to be that. It's Bolvar, right? You know, it's, that's what we're going to be chasing down. We're going to get him. We're going to take him down. It's going to be easy game. Easy lads. Right, so yeah, could be really good. I think that it could be a really good world boss there as well, but, my main concern is that it will be very, very short, right? Episode 1 certainly kind of rustled me a little bit on the actual longevity of the content and how long it really is. So let's hope they kind of go a little bit further and get some more length, get a bit more action, a bit more raw content there to drive the story further a little bit, right? Like, I want to see, let's push forward, let's go, let's bring the action, high energy, easy boys, right? Yeah, that's basically all we know about Episode 2. There's going to be an extension of the Raven Mastery, which is, that's okay, I guess, and events, world boss. Nice. Good. And then, as a conclusion, we'll be back in the studio on January 2nd, 2020, ready to hit the ground running. Thank you for all your support in 2019, and we can't wait to play along with you again next year. So, look, whatever you think of it, this is so much better than what we've ever had. I would never in my wildest dreams have imagined that ArenaNet would actually post something like this. I did not see this coming, right? Okay? I did not see this coming whatsoever by any stretch of the imagination, right? And yeah, obviously, it's only one quarter and it's not really that far into the future. And we don't have a mention of any expansion level features, really, I guess, unless you consider Visions of the Past expansion level, which is which is debatable, I guess. This is a lot better than doing, and honestly, I think they're going to continue to do better. Now, personally, I do still hold to the theory that they are working on a new IP, maybe Guild Wars 3 or a new MMO or a new single-player game or something like that, right? Like that's what I think. So I think this isn't exactly maintenance mode, but they've kind of peeled back unnecessary elements of the game like raids and fractals, and then just going to focus on what they think they do best, which is story, and then try and get PvP and World of Sword polished up as best they can. Raids seem to be too much work and no reward, really. Because look, guys, I mean, how many people actually do raids? Is it? I wonder what's bigger. I wonder what's bigger, PvP or raids? In terms of like actual player participation, I think player participation in raids is so low, so low, actually. So it's not worth it. Like, why would you develop really high effort content if no one plays it? You wouldn't, right? There would be no point to do that, right? It would make no sense. So I think raids are probably gonna get cut, maybe. A little bit.
But I mean, wouldn't people play it if it was good content?
It is good content. That's the thing, that the raids are actually really good in this game. Yeah, they're really well done. It's just that the community is very, very casual, and it's a bit too hard for most people. Like, the problem with raids is they're actually too difficult, right? They are much too difficult for your average Guild Wars 2 player, right? And they're very, very good, right? They're a lot of fun to play. They're excellent. But they don't come frequently enough because of development restrictions, possibly, or some other weird stuff. Who knows, right? And it's not really like the focus of the game, right?